Welcome to Aunt Gay's Kitchen. We made a video called Noodle Making 101. We received some positive feedback from that, and as a request from other people who have watched that video and that we know, they requested that I do a video on pie making. So here we go. Now I'm 72 years old, and I made my first pie, a cherry pie, when I was 10. And over the years, I hope I've perfected my pie making abilities. We're getting ready to serve a dinner at the local lodge, and I'm going to make 6 pies for it, so I thought I'd get started, and this would be a good time to show you what I do. I have a 100-year-old pie crust recipe that I found and replaced my original pie crust recipe with. It's you start out with 2.5 cups of flour and 1 cup of shortening. Some people like to use lard. I like to use butter flavored shortening. You could use butter flavored Crisco, or in my case I just use the store brand butter flavored. And a dash of salt in your bowl. Then you mix these up. I use a fork. Some people like to use a pastry cutter, but I've been doing it for a long time, and this was new to me, and I have not mastered the technique for using it, so I rely on my trusty fork. You just cut the shortening into the flour until it forms and then like beads. The rest of the recipe is a 1/2 cup of milk with a tablespoon of vinegar in it. And I know this sounds strange, and I questioned it too, but it makes a very flaky and tender pie crust. Now this recipe will make enough crust for a 2-crust pie, which are generally your fruit pies. This one I'm going to make today is a cherry pie, or it'll make 2 1-crust pies, which are generally your cream pies, such as chocolate pie, banana cream pie, sugar cream pie, or in the case I'm going to make later, a butterscotch pie, which is a favorite of our families and people that I make pies for. Now when you start out, be sure you have clean hands, because you're going to be handling this dough. Okay, when it's thoroughly mixed, then you add your milk and vinegar mixture. Continue to mix it. Now I like to use a pastry sheet on my counter. It just makes for easy cleanup. The filling I'm going to use in this is a recipe that you can use for cherry pie, peach pie, just about any. It calls for 5 cups of cherries. I use tart cherries, a cup of sugar, a 1/2 cup of flour, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. The last mixing just always has to be done by hand. But you also want to be careful that you don't handle it too much, because that will make it tough. bottom crust. Flour your pastry sheet. Roll it out. Your crust over, put it in your pie plate. Press it into the plate. Cut off the excess. Now, because this is going to bake without a filling in it, we're going to have to put some holes in it so that it won't bubble up or curl up and shrink. So you just take your fork, poke little holes all over the bottom of the crust. And around the sides. Can do your crimping. This is going to bake in a 350-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. And while it's baking, we'll work on the filling. Here is your one crust.